Ready to open the hood? UseTool for the tutorials.
And for car parts, the right idea is the Mr. Auto app. Easy, fast, and with better prices than on the website.
You will find the bulk shock absorbers used in the video exclusively on the Mr. Auto website and through the link in the description. Turn your engine off, pull up the handbrake, pull on the bonnet release lever and open the bonnet. To disassemble the front shock absorbers, it is first important to remove the windscreen frame and the windscreen wiper. Before removing the windscreen wipers, place adhesive tape in order to keep a precise indication of their location at the end position. This will make it possible to correctly position them when reassembling. Remove the nut covers from the wiper arms using a flat screwdriver, and with a ratchet and a 16mm socket, loosen the nuts. Remove the windscreen wiper arms by making small movements up and down. If they're not coming out, we recommend taking a windscreen wiper remover to facilitate the process. Remove the plastic covers. Remove the hose for the windscreen washing liquid. Now, remove the windshield frame. Then, using a ratchet and a 13mm socket, unscrew the 3 screws holding the shock absorber cups by a few threads in order to create some play for the next manipulations. Using a 7mm Allen key and a 21mm offset wrench, unscrew the nut on the shock head by a few threads. You can also use the specific tool used in the video, which will make your task much easier. In order to change the front shock absorbers on your vehicle, you must lift the front of the car and remove the wheels to have a complete access to the suspension system. Loosen the stud bolts on the front wheels, raise the front of the vehicle and put it in the 2-axle stands. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial, raising your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. You will then be able to take off the wheels. Don't forget to slide them under the vehicle. During this operation, you will work on the steering system of your vehicle. Checks on tyre alignment when carried out by a professional will guarantee that your steering system has been perfectly aligned and is in good working order. You now have to remove the stabilizer link bar. It connects the stabilizer link so that the wheels are always in contact with the ground. To do this, we recommend watching the video How to Replace the Sway Bar Links Peugeot 308-2. Remove the ABS sensor cable. Remove the brake hose from its housing. Then, the second part of the ABS sensor hose. As the components to be removed are very often seized up, don't hesitate to brush and to use penetrating oil to facilitate the operation. Using a ratchet and an 18mm socket, unscrew the 2 screws on the base of the shock absorber. Hold the nut with a socket wrench and an E18 female Torx socket. Then remove them. You can use a hammer to help you. The base of the shock absorber should now be free. Using a socket wrench and a 13mm socket, unscrew the 3 holding screws on the shock absorber. Once released, hold the shock absorber in one hand and finish off the unscrewing with the other hand. Remove the shock absorber.
Hello, if this video helped you, like and subscribe.
In order to change the shock absorber, you must now separate it from the spring. You can find a description of the tool used in the video, which we think is most adapted to the operation. Careful, pay attention as you compress the spring. This is not without risk and should be undertaken paying very careful attention. Block the tool in a vise. This will make it easier to use. Install the shock absorber on the tool, then tighten the mobile flange against the spring, controlling its position carefully. Check that they're properly held by the locking studs, then slowly compress the spring using the socket wrench and the appropriate socket. Once the shock absorber is free in the spring, you can use a 21mm offset wrench and a 7mm Allen key to unscrew the suspension strut support bearing. Then remove the foam pad, the upper shock absorber support, the protective sleeve. Remove the shock absorber from the spring. You will find the bulk parts and products used in the video on the Mr. Auto site and in the link in the description. Take your new shock absorber. You need to pump it several times on the actuator to get the system going. Unscrew the lock nut on the stem. If it has fallen off during disassembly, refit the lower support to the spring. Position everything in the spring. Pay careful attention to place the bottom of the spring so that it supports the shock absorber flange. Then install the protective sleeve, the foam pad, the upper shock absorber support, the shock absorber mount, and finish by screwing the lug nut onto the shock absorber stem. Tightly fix it in place with a 21mm offset wrench while holding the stem with a 7mm Allen key. Unscrew the spring compression tool, paying attention to the position of the spring on the lower shock absorber support. Check that the bellows are properly fixed to avoid premature wear of your shock absorbers. You have now finished preparing the new part. Start by putting your shock absorber in place, then screw the top strut mount back in. Start by hand, then finish off with a socket wrench. Using a wire brush, clear the hub carrier to make it easier to insert into the shock absorber. Then put the screws back in place. Finalize the tightening of the screws with a Torx wrench. Reclip each of the hoses. Put the stabilizer link back into its upper housing and screw it in. Finish off the tightening with the Torx wrench. Put the wheels of your vehicle back on and lower it to the ground. The final tightening of the 3 top strut mounts is done with a Torx spanner. Finish tightening the core screw with a Torx spanner. Put the windscreen frame back in place. Reclip the windscreen washer fluid hose. Replace the plastic covers. Then reclip the windscreen frame. Reassemble the windscreen wiper arms without exaggerating when tightening them in place. Operation completed.
Please support us, subscribe and like the video, that will be really cool.